They told you to wait your turn. They told you to be patient. They told you to be lucky, as if success were a lottery, as if greatness were a cosmic accident. But deep down, a voice inside of you always knew the truth, that the most powerful force in the world is not luck. It's purpose. Purpose is not a feeling. It's not motivation. It's not something you find one day. It's something you decide. Because the day you make the decision to live with unshakable intent is the day the world begins to shape itself around you. Not because it owes you anything, but because you stopped waiting to be chosen and chose yourself. Luck is a fantasy. Purpose is a weapon. And the people you admire, the ones who built empires from nothing, they weren't lucky, they were certain. Let me tell you what separates the average from the great. It's not education, it's not connections, it's not talent. It's the mental decision to own your life, to take responsibility, radical responsibility for where you are and where you're going. Every morning you have two choices: drift with the current or carve a new river with your bare hands. And most people, they drift, not because they're weak, but because they've never been taught that the mind is a battlefield. Napoleon Hill called it the subconscious powerhouse, the place where your thoughts become beliefs and your beliefs become actions and your actions become your reality. But here's the catch: your mind doesn't care what you feed it, positive or negative, purposeful or passive. It accepts everything, then builds your life around it. If you fill it with excuses, distractions and doubts, it will return you a life filled with regret. But if you fill it with vision, certainty and purpose, it will open doors where there were once only walls. You cannot chase a dream you don't believe belongs to you. Henry Ford said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." He understood belief was more powerful than circumstance. That mindset was more decisive than money. That internal certainty could bend the external world. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times trying to create the light bulb, but he believed in his purpose, so much so that failure became feedback, delay became development, doubt became data. You see, belief is the engine of purpose. It doesn't mean you'll never question yourself, but it means you refuse to abandon the mission. And most people, they treat belief like a feeling, something that comes and goes. But belief is not something you wait to feel. It's something you build brick by brick through repetition, discipline, and conviction. You build belief by doing the thing, especially when you don't feel ready, because action reinforces belief, and belief reinforces action. That's the feedback loop of greatness. Imagine waking up every day with no map, no compass, no destination. You wouldn't get far, but that's how most people live. Running in circles, chasing distractions, trading potential for comfort, and calling it life. Clarity is your compass. And clarity begins with one question: what am I really here to do? Not what your parents expected, not what society approved, not what earns fast applause, but what calls you, what burns in you, what makes you feel alive when everything else is quiet. Purpose doesn't shout, it whispers. And if you can sit long enough, still enough to hear it, you'll realize it's been waiting for you to listen. The world isn't short on talent, it's short on clarity. Too many people are busy being everything to everyone while becoming nothing to themselves. But when you move with clarity, you stop seeking permission, you stop chasing trends, you start building a life that's rooted instead of reactive. Before Walt Disney ever laid a single brick of Disneyland, he saw it clearly in his mind, not a sketch, not a vague hope, a living vision that breathed through him every waking moment. That's what vision is. It's the ability to live the future in your mind so vividly that it begins to pull you toward it like gravity. Napoleon Hill called this definiteness of purpose. Not just having a dream, but locking onto it with tunnel vision, backed by emotion, faith, and unbreakable will. And here's the secret. The clearer your vision, the stronger your momentum. Vision gives your actions direction. It gives your energy focus. It gives your life meaning. Without it, you'll be busy but aimless. You'll hustle but never build. You'll work hard but never feel fulfilled. You were not born to survive the week. You were born to build legacy. But no legacy begins without a vision so clear you could paint it with your eyes closed. This is where the world separates. Because everyone wants the reward, but only the few will pay the price. Discipline is the currency of purpose. It's the bridge between knowing what you want and actually becoming who can have it. You don't rise by feeling like it. You rise by choosing it again and again and again. The alarm goes off. The excuses begin. But you remember, purpose doesn't negotiate. You show up when it's hard. You practice when no one's watching. You build brick by brick, not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Discipline isn't punishment. It's a form of self-respect. It's telling the world, I am not a slave to my mood. I am the master of my mission. Most people wait for motivation, but the ones who win, they manufacture it through habits, through rituals, through commitment. Discipline is what takes you from dreamer to doer, from talker to builder, from potential to proof. There is a moment, after clarity, after vision, after belief, when the mind begins to bargain. It whispers, let's wait a little longer. Let's get more prepared. Let's be realistic. And in that exact moment, you must act. Because nothing kills dreams faster than waiting for perfection. Nothing suffocates momentum like hesitation. You don't build confidence and then take action. You take action and build confidence along the way. The greatest trap is waiting until you feel ready. No titan you admire was ever fully ready. They stepped forward while afraid. They made bold moves with shaky hands. Carnegie didn't know how to build steel empires before he started. Ford didn't wait until the assembly line was perfect before changing the world. They moved, they acted, they started. And that first step, it was ugly, it was imperfect. But it was the beginning of everything. Because motion creates momentum. Even the smallest step in the direction of your purpose unleashes clarity, confidence, and the next step. Think about it. A rocket uses 80% of its fuel just to lift off the ground. After that, it glides. You need courage, not certainty. You need execution, not excuses, because action is what separates the wishing from the winning. Let's be clear. The road to purpose isn't paved in comfort. It's built in the fire. There will be seasons where the world tells you no, where everything feels slow, stuck, and silent. Where your efforts go unseen, your vision goes misunderstood, and your progress feels invisible. But that is exactly where most people quit, because they mistake resistance for failure. They mistake silence for it's not meant to be. But resistance doesn't mean you're off track. It means you're building muscle. It's easy to keep going when everything works, but purpose is proven when everything doesn't. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Oprah was told she was unfit for TV. Hill himself was broke, ridiculed, and laughed at while writing one of the most transformative books in history. Purpose is not found in praise. It's forged in rejection. It's built when you bleed for something no one else can see. Resilience isn't about surviving hardship. It's about transmuting it. It's alchemy of the soul. It says, you threw fire at me. I'll use it to light my path. You closed the door. I'll build a new one. You tried to break me. I became unbreakable. You will be tested, and not by if things go wrong, but how you respond when they do. Life will throw curveballs, plans will fall apart, people will leave, markets will shift, ideas will fail. But those walking in purpose, they don't break, they bend, they adjust, they evolve. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be adaptable. The Wright brothers didn't get their plane off the ground because they had the perfect plan. They got it up because they adjusted every single time it failed to fly. Purpose doesn't mean rigidity, it means direction. And sometimes the path will change. That's okay. The mission remains. You don't change the goal. You change the approach. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only this one right now. And this one is waiting to be used, shaped, forged by someone who refuses to be shaken by change. Adaptability is power, because the person who cannot be broken is the one who can never be stopped. And in all of this, through the hustle, the hunger, the heartache, don't forget to be grateful. Gratitude isn't weakness. It's not passivity. It's the mental armor of the achiever. You must learn to be grateful for what you have while still being hungry for what you're building. Because when you operate from gratitude, you raise your energy, your awareness, your resilience. You stop obsessing over what's missing and start maximizing what's here. Be grateful for the struggle because it's shaping you. Be grateful for the critics because they reveal your strength. Be grateful for the quiet seasons because they force you to go inward, to realign. Even the obstacles, be grateful because they show you where your growth lives. The person who can feel appreciation in the middle of the storm is the person the storm cannot break. Gratitude will keep you grounded when success comes, and gratefulness will keep you going when it hasn't yet. It is not soft. It is not sweet. It is strategic. Because a grateful heart is an unstoppable force. The clock is ticking, not just for the day, not just for this season, but for your entire life. Because one day, your name will be spoken for the last time. Your voice will go silent. Your story will either become a warning or a weapon in someone else's fight to rise. So the question is, what will outlive you? Most people never ask this. They chase a paycheck, a title, a weekend, and die full of unused potential. But purpose-driven people, they think in decades, not days. They build cathedrals, not just comfort. They plant seeds that become forests, knowing they may never sit in the shade themselves, and that's the difference. Luck is about now. Purpose is about forever. Andrew Carnegie didn't just build steel. He built libraries. He used his fortune to empower minds long after he left this world. Thomas Edison didn't just invent light. He lit the way for millions who came after him. Their names echo not because they were lucky, but because they lived with legacy in mind. And the same is true for you. What you do today will echo for generations, if you dare to live like it matters. Let this moment burn itself into your soul. You don't need someone to choose you. You don't need more time. You don't need to get lucky. You need to decide, to burn the boats, to cut off the exit, to say, this is who I am. This is what I was made for, and nothing will stop me. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be worth it. The discipline, the sacrifice, the late nights, the doubt, the sweat that no one sees, all of it is part of it. And here's what they'll never tell you. There is no secret. There is no chosen few. There is only the one who refuses to give up, the one who dares to walk with fire in their chest while others wait for a sign. You are that one. You are not average. You are not here to live small. You are not here to be liked, to blend in, to follow the path carved by the fearful. You are here to create, to build, to lead, to burn with purpose so intense that the world has no choice but to watch you rise. This isn't motivation. This is a reminder, a reawakening. You were born with a mind powerful enough to reshape reality, a spirit resilient enough to overcome anything, a heart wise enough to know it was never about luck. It was always about you. What you choose, what you believe, what you do when no one's watching. So stop chasing moments, start chasing meaning, live with definiteness of purpose. Move like every step is sacred. Speak like your words can shift futures. Act like the world is watching you for what's possible, because they are. And when they ask how you did it, when they wonder what magic you found, you'll tell them the truth. I didn't wait for luck. I found my purpose, and I never let go.